Hey y'all, this is Dina. Welcome to my channel. Okay, so I showed things that I had made in my craft fair last year, and one of them was a cosmetic bag. So I thought while it's fresh on my mind, I would jump on and show you guys how I made the cosmetic bags. So you can make them any size that you want, and I chose to do it 8.5 tall by 12 wide. And this will make a nice little, it'll probably make more of an oblong type cosmetic bag. You can make these any shapes and sizes that you want, but I chose to do it this size. I'm going to use the beautiful fabric, this floral, for an outside. I'm going to use the polka dotted for the inside, and then I have 2 pieces of interfacing. This is not fusible, but usually I do use fusible, but it's going to be fine because I am going to sew it all down. Anyway, and then you're going to need a zipper. My zipper is way too long. I actually prefer to work with zippers that are actually too big. That way it's easier to sew. So anyway, let's just get started. Gonna move this out of the way. Okay, first thing you're gonna need to do is you start with one of your outer panels, and you're going to put a piece of your interfacing. You can use the thicker fusible interfacing if you want. I'm using this Pellon, and I'm not really sure of the number of it. I've had it in my stash, but it has like a really thick paper. So I'm using that one, and I'm using this beautiful floral that I got at, I think I got it at Hobby Lobby. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your batting down underneath your interfacing, and then you're going to put your beautiful fabric, your outer fabric, face up, and then you're going to take your zipper, and this is similar to the way I make pencil cases, but a boxed bottom. And all you're going to do is you're going to line these up, going across the top, line up your zipper. And I know it's kind of crazy green, but I did not have a white one that I was comfortable using. I thought the one I had was a little bit too short. So, and there's green in this fabric, and I don't have a hard time matching up different shapes and colors and all that. I'm good with that. Okay, so what you have is your interfacing, you have your outer fabric, you have your zipper teeth side down, and then you have one piece of your inner fabric. Your lining is going to go face down, and you're going to line it up directly on the top of your zipper and your beautiful fabrics and your interfacing. Kind of line it up, get it all straight, and just like that. Now I'm going to take it to my sewing machine, and I'm going to sew it straight across there, and then I'll flip it out, and then I'll iron it and top stitch. Let's get going over to the sewing machine. So I'm going to put my zipper foot on my machine. Now let's see here. I think I want it on this side. Nope, I want it on the other side. I always get confused on that. And I'm going to take my fabric, line this up, and line it up. And you can always like line the edge of your presser foot about maybe less than 1/8 of an inch toward the zipper, and that's how you can kind of like eyeball how close you want it. Okay, now that I got one stitch in there, I want to make sure I got that extra thread up in there. I'm going to use my down feature as I normally do. Okay. Just try to go as straight as you can. Nothing is perfect. I do not always sew straight. I am not the best, but I don't give up. That's my motto, is even if you don't do it perfect, don't give up. So I'm gonna get this over here, just like this, and voila. one side sewed. I'm going to take it over here to my iron, and I'm going to iron it down, and then I'm going to top stitch. Be right back. Got it ironed. Now I'm going to, let me flip this zipper foot over to the other side. Y'all, you know what I'm excited about? Let me just tell you. Okay, so line it up over here to the edge, and you're just gonna stitch it on down. So what I'm excited about is, oh my goodness, I heard that the Hallmark Christmas movies are gonna start, I think, next month. I love Hallmark Christmas movies. Don't you guys? Y'all watch Hallmark? Oh my goodness. What I love about them is that I love that they're good, clean films. They're good movies. And a lot of times, a lot of them are the same. But yeah, I love it, the fact that they are clean, that there's not all this nasty language in it. And they're clean. And I love that. Okay. Got this all in. You know, one time I was sick, and let me just tell you, one time I was sick, and so I hugged the couch like all weekend. I was so sick, and so all I did all weekend was sit on the couch and watch Hallmark films all weekend long. Okay, so now that I've got this sewed on, let me show you how I need to layer this up. So here's a piece we've already sewed, and so you can start by layering up and putting your outer fabric face down. So now the teeth of the zipper is going to be facing up, okay? So I'm gonna have the fabric face down, and it's gonna be on the other side of your zipper. Then you're going to put your piece of interfacing just like this. Line them up. Let me get my clips. And then you're going to flip it over and put the other piece. Now, if you are comfortable by not clipping, and you just flip it on over, go for it. I don't normally do that, but yep, just for the sake of the video, I will do that if it helps you. Okay, so now I flipped it over. This is the inner part. So now you want to put your pretty sides together. Okay. And now I'm just going to line these up. If it moved a little bit on you, don't stress over that. There is no need for stressing on that. You can square it up when you're done. Make it a little bit bigger than what you really wanted it. So if you've got to square it up, you can. Okay, so now that I've got this, as you see here, I've got it all nicely sandwiched together. Now I'm going to just put it underneath my sewing machine. And I'm going to do the same thing I just did. Okay, so let's get back over here. Okay, so here we go. Got it all ready to roll. Try to sew as even as you can. Remember, nothing's perfect. It moves, it moves. It's okay. Mine moves all the time. But in the end, it turns out just fine, so I don't worry about it. Okay, got the end. Now I'm going to do the same thing I did on the other side. I'm going to flip it over, so I'm going to put the pretty sides out. I'm going to go and I'm going to take it to my ironing board, and I'm going to press it down, and I'm going to top stitch along this side. I'll be right back. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to top stitch this other side. Make sure you keep everything out nice and flat. To the end. Y'all, you see how easy it is. Zippers are a cinch to put in. They really, really, really are. Okay, so that's all I'm going to need for my zipper foot. So I'm going to go ahead and take that off and get that put up. I'm going to replace it, put my other foot back under there. And there we go. Okay, so now our next step is we need to start sewing the bag together. But let me get these threads off, y'all. Threads drive me crazy. Okay, so what you need to do, the most important thing when making this bag is making sure that your zipper pull has been moved to the center. Now you can take it to your sewing machine and just sew a few stitches over here to hold this one together. And that's how I'm going to quickly do that. I'm not going to bring you back over. I think you know what I'm doing. But I'm just going to stick it under my machine and I'm going to just stitch them together, just like a few little stitches, just so it holds it together. And it's that easy. That way then, see here? It's together now. So I could actually come over here and I could just chop that off. Make sure you do this part. It's very important for you to do this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to trim the other end of my zipper too. Just kind of get it out of the way. And you're actually going to sew over these and you'll actually trim this a little bit more. Okay, so now what you're going to need to do is you're going to take the two outer fabrics and the inner facings on both sides. Let me put this over just a little bit more. And you're going to take them and you're going to let them meet in the middle here, just like this. Y'all, I mentioned one time, I don't know, a couple months ago that I was thinking about doing the craft fair that was in my local town where I live. And today was the day, and I did not sign up, and I think I'm glad I didn't. I was apprehensive because my mom was ill, and it was a good thing I didn't, because I wouldn't have been able to get everything together because I've been so busy. And so I didn't, and so my husband and I, we went and walked around just for a little bit, and there wasn't very many booths. I mean, there was tons of people coming out, but there wasn't very many booths. So, yeah. I don't know, it could have been a plus because I did not see any kind of items that I sell at that craft fair. So, or at that, well, they called it, didn't really call it a craft fair, but there was a lot of different vendors, like the city was there and all that, and, you know, In-N-Out Burger. Who doesn't love In-N-Out Burger? But you know what? The line for In-N-Out Burger was so long, it probably would have taken you 2 hours just to get an In-N-Out Burger, when we could just drive 3 miles down the road and go to the restaurant if we wanted it that bad. So, you know, we didn't get any. We walked around and came home. We were ready to come home. Okay, so I'm kind of using my clips, and I'm just doing this so I could hold all my pieces together. So that way nothing moves on me. I think I'm going to do 2 more. I'm going to do these sides over here. And then I'm going to do this side over here. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start over here at the bottom, and I'm going to leave myself about 2 inches or so, or maybe a little more of opening here, but I'm going to sew all the way around the perimeter and back stitch at the beginning and the end, and then I'll show you how I box the corners. Okay. And off we go, my friends. Here we go. Back stitch. Because when you turn it inside out, you're going to have a lot of pulling. You want to make sure that everything is good. I'm using my down feature. Oh, and you know what, y'all? I was going to change. I'm using a 3.0 stitch length for this. That's usually what I use, 2.5 or 3. I guess it's preference, whatever you want to do. You see it shifted a little bit over here, but don't worry about it. It's inside, and it's still going to be just beautiful. When you get over here to where the zipper is, when you're coming over here, just make sure it's face down into the pouch, okay? Into your cosmetic pouch. I'm just going to bring that down just a little bit. I'm going to keep going. The nice thing about using a zipper that is actually too big is then you don't have to worry about like sewing over the metal and breaking a needle. Okay, when you get to the corner, pivot. Gonna remove that one and keep going. I think I'm gonna go just like one or two more little stitches so I get closer to that edge. I'm gonna start working my way up to the top. There was someone that wrote me and said that they were making bowl koozies and they were having a hard time sewing with the interfacing, all the batting that you put inside and everything. Just maybe if you don't have a walking foot, just maybe try using, like, kind of guiding it with your fingers, okay, with your hands, and seeing if that can help to boost it over the tough spots. That's what I do. Okay, let's remove this clip. Oh, Lordy. So my husband and I went to that thing, and when we left, we came and we saw. I might have done really well because they did not have anything that nothing like I make. So there was only a few handmade vendors. The rest of them were all like businesses trying to advertise for themselves. So I might have done well because I would have been the only one, I think there was like two others. That's it. So, okay. So let's get you back over here. I'm going to show you what the next step is. So the next thing you need to do is you need to take, and this is the bottom of the inner facing, or actually the interior fabric. And I just put a clip on here to kind of hold it into place. I have to kind of work with it because my zipper wants to kind of flip over on me. But at the corners, what you need to do is you need to kind of try to feel your way in and try to have the seams meet, okay? So have them kind of meet a little bit. I can feel both seams right there. So you're kind of having it at a V, just like this, okay, y'all? So here's the seam, the bottom seam, and underneath here's the side, okay? So what you need to do is take your seam and kind of line it up on your grid, on your cutting mat, or whatever you use. And let me grab, I'm gonna grab one of my rulers, and I'm just gonna go up. I believe I'm gonna make sure I'm down here at a line, which is an inch. And I think what I'm gonna do this at, I might do it 2 inches all the way around. Okay, the higher up you go, like if I decided to go up only 1 inch, that would be a smaller box on the bottom, boxy style on the bottom. The higher up I go is going to make it wider. Okay, so I think for this particular one, I'm just going to make it, I'm going to go up 2 inches. And I'm just going to use my friction pin. And this pin, you can draw on this, your fabric, because it will go away with the seam. But it doesn't matter anyway. It's on the inside. Who's going to see it? And plus, you're going to cut this off. So use your clips, use your pins, whatever, and just kind of hold that in place. We're going to take it to my sewing machine. I'm going to sew a seam right there, and then I'm going to trim this off, and I'm going to do that on the other 3 sides. So I'm not going to move you over to the sewing machine. I'm just going to pop this over because this one is quick. Just trying to keep it in line. Back stitch at the beginning and the end. Okay, so, and you can hold open your seams if you want. And I know you're not seeing that, but I'll show you when I'm done. Okay, so let me show you what I did. So there it is right there. As you see, I kind of sewed my seam open. If you don't want to sew your seam open, you don't have to. I don't always, but I just kind of felt it at that time, y'all. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the other 3 sides, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now I have gotten all 4 of my sides boxed. Now all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my scissors and I'm gonna trim it about, I don't know, 1/2 inch or so, or a little bit less, right below my seam. See, and it looks like this, y'all. I'm gonna do the other ones. Do the lining ones. So you can leave them on, but it kind of makes extra bulk. Who wants extra bulk? I wouldn't want extra bulk. So that's why we're just gonna trim these little friends off here. We are not needing them. Just like that. So now all we're gonna do is the opening that we have here at the bottom. I'm gonna reach up inside and I'm gonna grab it and I'm gonna pull it through. Just like this. We now have a boxed edge, and look at that green zipper looks pretty. I'm gonna poke out my corners. And you see how wide it made it? See? So that made it 4 inches across the bottom. You can do it smaller if you want. So this is gonna make it a little bit wider of a bag and maybe a little shorter of a bag. Make it any size you want. Okay, there's the bottom. Look at that. I love it. Okay, I've got my zipper over here. I want to make sure that everything over here is good. And actually, before I go any further, I'm going to trim my zipper off a little bit more on these edges. Let me see if I can reach up and get the other one, because you don't want it to like sticking out everywhere. Okay, so get that. I'm going to go ahead and poke the corners out here, so that way when I sew at the bottom, they're pretty much where I want them. And now all you're going to do is this opening we have inside, you're just going to sew it closed. So let's get it done. Okay, so all you're going to do is you're going to take your opening here and you're going to kind of flatten it out, kind of smooth it out with your fingers. Just like this. Pop it underneath your sewing machine. And you're gonna stitch a nice stitch along where that opening is. And voila. You can hand sew this. You can use some heat and bond to seal it closed. But y'all, I've said it before. It's on the inside. It's okay. And I'm going to give this a quick press. And look, we got a nice boxy, cute little pouch. So let me just get this ironed and I'll show you the end result. Friends, ran the iron across it. Look how nice and boxy it is on the bottom. And here it's going to be, you're going to be able to just zip this closed. Let's see if I can poke my zipper up a little bit more on the edge. And voila, you got yourself a cute little boxy bottom cosmetic case. See, look how sweet that comes out, y'all. And you've got plenty of space to put all your goodies in it if you're traveling, or if you just have a cosmetic case you want to keep in your bathroom where you keep your cosmetics, or wherever you keep them. How cute is this one? Oh me, oh my, I love it. It's so cute. It's just darling. I love the fabric. And yeah, pretty excited about this. I think for this one, I might keep it for myself because I really do like this one. Yeah, too cute, y'all. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that this helped answer some of your questions on making the cosmetic pouch. And like I said, you don't have to make it this, you don't have to make the bottom so wide. You could have made it smaller, but I just chose to make mine nice and boxy on the bottom. So just if you wanted to make it a shorter bottom, just do it like maybe 1 inch or 1.5 inches instead of 2. If you do 1 inch, it's going to be a 2-inch bottom and so forth. So anyway, easy as that, y'all. Hope that you guys have enjoyed this, and y'all, I will see you guys soon. Bye.